What is going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Meals with Mike. Y'all are very, very blessed because today we have yet another banger. All right, now look, y'all ever been like, you know what? I want to go out, I want to get some Chipotle, but dang, I got COVID, I can't go anywhere. Or maybe you wanted to eat, but your rent bill already ate, or whatever. Maybe you just want to get Chipotle quality food without going out. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's why I'm here. All right, today we're going to be making a homemade Chipotle bowl from scratch right here in the house. That way you don't have to go out, you don't have to spend any money, I mean, other than on ingredients, but then you'll have plenty of leftovers that you could eat throughout the week. You could share with your friends, family, wife, whoever the heck it may be. And ultimately, we're in for a good time. You guys are in for a treat. I am so ready for you guys to see how we do this. So without further ado, let's get right into it. All right, so a quick overview. As always, I decided to go with a ribeye steak, but you can use whatever kind of steak you like. It will still come out just as good. And then Goya black beans, because those are the way to go. And then some white rice. And then for your guacamole, a red onion, a jalapeno, and at least 3 avocados. I would recommend maybe even a little bit more depending on how much you want. Your limes, your cilantro, and then these are your seasonings right here. Adobo and garlic powder are probably going to be the main focal points of this dish, but we will be using all of these seasonings. All right, so now we're going to start off with the rice. So for every cup of rice that you do, you're going to want to do 2 cups of water. So I'm doing 2 cups of rice, 4 cups of water. And keep in mind, if you add more than that, your rice will come out mushy. And then I went ahead and added the juice of about half a lime, but you could do more if you want. That's just what I'm starting off with. I did about a tablespoon of oil and then some adobo and just a little bit of salt. You got to keep in mind that adobo has salt in it, so you never want to overuse it. And then just some garlic powder and some paprika. And then I mix it all together and let the water come to a boil. All right, so while the rice is coming to a boil, we are going to go ahead and get started on the beans. So I just emptied both cans into this little saucepan right here, and I added some adobo, some onion and garlic powder, some red pepper flakes, and then the other half of that lime that I used in the rice. And then all you got to do is just mix it all up, keep it on a very low heat, and just let it simmer while you're doing all the rest of your cooking, so it'll be ready for you when it's done. And once your rice comes to a boil, you want to put the lid on. Make sure you offset it so that the rice does not boil over. And then you just want to let it sit untouched for 20 minutes. Now, as for the steak, we want to make it into those little tiny cubes, just like it is when you go to Chipotle and you actually order a bowl. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut it into little strips just like that. And when you cut, you want to use the curve of the blade, start with the point down on the cutting board and just go straight through. And it should give you a perfect cut every single time. And then you cut those strips into little tiny cubes. So now we're going to go ahead and cook the steak. So you just want to transfer it to a pan with some oil, and then we're going to season it with adobo, salt, pepper, garlic powder, and then half of a lime as well. And then you want to save the other half of that second lime for later. And then the final touch on this steak, just to give it a little bit of extra kick, it's not necessary, but will transform it, is some sazon. This stuff is amazing. I've been having it since I was a little kid, and it gives just a lot of color and flavor, but it's not salty, so it doesn't overpower the steak. And then you just want to cook it on a high heat. Since these are small pieces, you want to kind of stir fry them on a high heat for a short period of time. So that way all the sides are covered and cooked, but you also want to make sure you don't overcook it. So that's why we do it for a short period of time. All right, so after 20 minutes, you can take the lid off the rice, and this is how it should look. And then you just want to get a fork, fluff it up, mix it around, give it a little taste test if you want to. And then I went ahead and added a little bit of cilantro just for a little bit of extra flavor in each bite of rice that I have. All right, now as for the guacamole, we're gonna start off with the avocado. Now keep in mind, when you go to the store and go shopping for avocados, the darker they are, the squishier they are, the better they will be to make this guacamole. So if you wanted to make it right away, then you would need to get a very dark avocado. These were some of the best ones I found in my store. And then you just wanna take your knife all around it and split it open with your hands. And then what you wanna do is use the back of the knife to go ahead and scoop out the avocado from the skin. This is actually a trick I learned at work. Whenever you need to get an avocado out super fast and it's busy, this is the best way to do it, because if you were to do it the other way, you could very easily cut your hand and you always gonna end up leaving skin on there. But this way you're always able to get it all out. And when it comes to getting the seed out, you just wanna stick your knife in it very carefully and then you just wanna go ahead and twist and it should come right out. And then you wanna do the same for all the rest of your avocados. Now as for the jalapeno, you want to go ahead and just cut off the top and the bottom and then cut it lengthwise, and then cut those lengthwise pieces in half lengthwise again, and then cut them in half the other way into little tiny pieces. This is what's going to really give your guacamole some spice, some kick, and also a little bit of crunch. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get the red onion in there as well. Now I chose red onion just because they have the strongest flavor and the strongest crunch as opposed to all the other onions, and you will be eating it raw, so it works out the best that way. So you're just going to peel the skin off and then cut little strips right along the onion just like that. And then you're gonna turn the onion the other way and cut as thin as you can, just like that. And then the layers will break up on their own, so you just wanna throw all of that straight into the guacamole. All right, now I just went ahead and also chopped up some cilantro. You want to chop it up just as small as you can because you don't want to be biting into huge leaves. You just want this to be able to give this as much flavor as it can. And then I also added juice of half a lime, and we're going to do a little bit more later on, so save some more lime. All right, so I just mixed everything together with a fork. And then what you want to do from that point is just mash it on up. I use a potato masher, but you guys can use whatever the heck you want. And then you just want to mash it all up and mix it until you get a nice, creamy, smooth consistency. Now keep in mind, like I said, the lighter your avocados are, the more hard they're going to be, and it's going to create more chunks. So if you like a smooth guacamole, then try to use the darkest avocados you can. Now that it's all crushed up and mixed up, we're gonna add our seasoning. So I just put some adobo, some pepper, some garlic powder, and then a little bit more lime as well, just to add a little bit of liquid, a little bit of creaminess to it, and then also a good kick that the lime gives, some acidity, some flavor. And if you guys don't like lime, you don't have to add any more, but I love lime, so I decided to add just a little bit more. And then if you're trying to get some extra juice out of the lime, you can go ahead and put your fork in it just like that. All right, so now we're gonna serve our bowl. So we're gonna do the rice and then the black beans. Look at how nice those are sitting in the bowl. A lot of flavor, a lot of color. And then you're gonna go ahead and put your steak and your guacamole right on top. And look at that. Woo! That looks fire. And the guacamole looks really, really nice. A lot of color, a lot of creaminess. The steak's got a lot of color, a lot of nice flavor to it. This one was great. And remember, follow me on Instagram and stay tuned because I'm going to be doing a video soon showing y'all how to make black beans from scratch and not out of a can. So make sure y'all are following me and that you don't miss anything. Turn on the post notifications on my YouTube and on my Instagram because remember, I am putting you guys on game. If you want to learn, stay tuned. I would thank all of you guys for watching this video. Peace.